Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Coach RJ, and I am the CEO and founder of the Impact You movement. And our whole objective is to educate, encourage, and to empower people with the tools necessary so that they can live out the best version of themselves. And I am excited this morning to be able to share this time and this digital space with you all as you all are either preparing for work or you are chilling at the house, or perhaps even have made your way to the workplace. Every Wednesday, I get an opportunity to come on live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 7 o'clock Central Time to bring you what I like to call a moment of impact, where we really try to work on and share information that will help provide a spark for you. Impact You, MPACTU. Let me tell you, it stands for motivating people and challenging them unequivocally, right? I believe it's important to be motivated, but I also believe you need to couple that with the ability to challenge other people. This morning, as I was preparing to leave the house and just really kind of thinking about our time that we're going to share this morning, my mind took me back to just a few days ago. And I was messing around with my phone, and my family, we all have iPhones. And so messing around with my phone. And what happened was I got an alert on my phone, and the alert simply let me know that there was an update available, and that it would my phone would proceed to update on its own, because it does that. Or if I wanted to go ahead and have the update take place at that moment, I could do that. And so I was thinking about that. And then I just Googled. I was like, when was the last update? And what I realized is there was an update, like I Googled it this morning. There was an update like 6 days ago. And then prior to that, there was an update probably about, 7, 8, or maybe even a week and a half earlier. There was another update. And it really started to really mess with me. And I started really thinking about, these updates that Apple puts out, for all of us to update our, phones or perhaps our iPads or whatever the case may be. And as I began thinking about that, I learned a valuable lesson. And that is this: Apple teaches us the value of updating on a regular basis. Stay with me. Apple teaches us the value of updating on a regular basis. This is one of the reasons why Apple has been leading the charge, has been one of the most sought after companies, or one of the leading the industry when it comes to cell phones, iPads, all that stuff, because they believe in updating on a regular basis. And here is what I realized about that whole update process. Because Apple realizes that if you do not update on a regular basis, you'll eventually become obsolete. I want to say it again. Apple teaches us a valuable lesson that you and we need to update on a regular basis, because if they don't update their software on a regular basis, eventually it will become obsolete. And really, what Apple taught me was something that I need to apply to my life. And really, everybody who's listening to me now needs to apply to their lives. Because if you're not, in Apple's words, if you're not updating, but in our words, if you're not evolving on a regular basis, then you'll eventually become obsolete. So now let me ask you this question. What is it about your life that has become obsolete because you refuse to evolve? What areas of your life have become obsolete because you have refused to evolve? You have refused to go through the process of updating. Now ask yourself this question. How long will you allow yourself to stay obsolete before you decide that an evolution is necessary? How long will you allow your relationship to be obsolete? Huh? Your health to be obsolete. Your current career path to be obsolete. How long will things of that nature be obsolete in your life before you recognize or before you decide that evolution is necessary? That is a very valuable question. Actually, it's a very valuable series of questions that you must ask yourself. But it's not enough to ask yourself. You've got to be willing to answer the question yourself. So Apple teaches us there is value in updating on a regular basis. If not, you and your life will become obsolete. Now, I didn't just want to leave it there. And so I did a little bit of research. And so what I discovered is that Apple has a simple process that they look to when it comes to updating their software. And I looked at what Apple has done, what they're doing and what they're planning on doing, kind of their whole process. And I thought, you know what? This is really applicable to me and to those of you all that are watching. So here it is. Apple has a very simple process that they go through when they get ready to update. Number one, they start with self-evaluation. Now, somebody's probably saying to themselves, well, you mean to tell me all these updates is left up to one person? No, it's not left up to one person, but where they start with is self-evaluation. Apple looks at where they are compared to where they want to be, and they ask themselves, are we making strides or are we spinning our wheels in the mud? So they have self-evaluation. Watch this. They have a team of people, but every team has at least one captain. And so when it comes to self-evaluation, you and I, we've got to evaluate our lives personally. And here's the thing about self-evaluation. There are three kinds of people when it comes to self-evaluation. First of all, you have the people who always do it. Yep. I want to start there. You have the people who are always self-evaluating because they understand that the more oftentimes I evaluate my life, my circumstances, what's going on with me, my headspace, my heart, my health, all that good stuff, the more likely I am to be in touch with what's missing or where I'm succeeding. So you have the people who always do it. You have the people who rarely go through the self-evaluation process. Listen, I applaud you for rarely doing it because you're at least doing something. But rarely evaluating is not enough, because if you rarely evaluate yourself, then you're going to miss something. Rarely evaluating is going to cause you to miss something. There are going to be some gaps in your life that you overlook, intentionally or unintentionally. I'm going to save that one for another day. So you got the people who, they're always evaluating themselves. You got the people who rarely evaluate themselves. And then you have the people who never evaluate themselves. And some of you all that are watching and that are listening to me, you fall in that bucket. You never evaluate yourself. And so here's the thing. How do you know what to edit if you never check in? One of the things I love to write, and there is a new app or new application out there called Grammarly. And what Grammarly does, in fact, my new job, it's not installed on my computer, and because I've done it on some other things, I got a message that says, hey, do you want to install Grammarly? And here's why Grammarly is important. Wow. It's because Grammarly will catch grammatical errors. It will also catch spelling errors that you overlook. And some of us, we need to check in on our lives to determine what are we overlooking. You're trying to figure out how come I'm not making it. It's because you're not checking in. You don't know what to edit in or edit out if you're not checking in. So the first thing that Apple does, they go through this self-evaluation process. The second thing, catch this, Not only do they go through the self-evaluation process, but then they also seek out consultation. Consultation. So they go through the evaluation, then consultation. So you have the one person who's leading the charge, and they're looking at everything, and they're like, okay, we need to make some changes, or we need to leave things like they are. But watch this. They don't make a decision in a vacuum, but then they take their findings, and then they bring it to a group of people, and then they talk about it. They talk through it. Pros and cons. Some of us, we have no problem with self-evaluation, but then we don't seek out consultation. And let me tell you something. Consultation is very valuable, but far too many of us only want people around us who will celebrate us. But catch this. You don't just need a circle of people who will just celebrate you, but you need people in your life who will also critique you. Now, you got these great ideas. Let me give you a prime example. My wife and I and my entire family, we moved to Florida in August of last year. I thought it was a great idea at the end of 2019. My wife and I, we talked about it, but then we talked to other people. Pros, cons. We involved our children. Write down the pros of us moving. Write down the cons of us moving. We talked to other people. We prayed about it. And the reason why we did that is because we didn't want to make a decision in a vacuum. And we had people to tell us, yeah, you don't need to leave now. You need to wait. We had people say, yeah, this is a great time. We had all of that. We took all of that into consideration because we didn't want to make a decision in a vacuum. And we knew that this level of living, this evolution that we were on the verge of walking through or going through, it required consultation. The Bible even talks about how in the multitude of counsel there is safety. And many of us, the reason why our lives are in jeopardy, the reason why we keep falling for the okie doke, the reason why things don't turn out the way that they should turn out in our lives is because we've evaluated our lives personally. Yes, we've gone through the self-evaluation process, but we've not sought out consultation. We're not talking to other people. And Apple teaches us that not only do you need to have a self-evaluation, you need to look at what is, but then you need to also seek out consultation. You need to talk to some people. And here's the final piece of the process that Apple goes through. They got this evaluation period. They got this consultation that they go through. And finally, it's time for implementation. Two things very quickly about implementation. Apple knows there are two types of people when it comes to implementing their update. Because remember, Apple knows if they don't update on a regular basis, they will become obsolete. So when it comes to the implementation phase, there are two types of people that Apple know that are out there. First of all, there are the people who are going to reject the update. But here's the thing about an update. Apple knows if you reject the update, you'll have to settle for an older version. Let me tell you something. People who reject your evolution, people who reject your update, they're going to have to settle for an old version of you, which is no longer valid in this season. Wow. They're gonna have to settle for an old version of you, and that version of you is no longer valid in this season. And let me say to you all this. You have to be okay with leaving those people behind. So when it comes to the implementation process, there are going to be people who reject you. But finally, there are going to be people who receive you. Apple knows for everybody that rejects them, there's going to be millions of others who receive them. And when you receive the update, when you take it in, you get the benefit of the evolution. The people in your life that receive this as you are implementing your evolution and your own personal update, they'll be able to be the beneficiaries of your evolution. Apple teaches us a very valuable lesson. That when you choose not to update on a regular basis, you will eventually become obsolete. Man, it's been a blast this morning. I pray you guys have an excellent Wednesday and a great remainder of the week. And we will see you all next week. Love you guys. Take care.